not UPMC, capitalizing on the horrible violent incident in their ICU a few weeks ago where the nurses were held at gunpoint, held hostage. Having a t-shirt sale and proceeds will provide vital resources to support the recovery and well-being of these incredible caregivers. They made shirts. They're selling shirts. You know, they did the same thing to that one psych nurse a year or so ago. Was it Scott? I can't remember his last name, in New York, that was almost killed. And then they created the whole Scott Strong campaign and did all this crap. Meanwhile, not taking care of him, allegedly. A couple people claiming to be from UPMC have reached out to me. I cannot verify this part. I don't know if this is true. But they have told me that there's been some donations from the community for these nurses and healthcare workers that were victims. And they sent out a survey, the hospital, saying who wants to control these donations, and that these healthcare workers, the employees, voted to let the hospital foundation control it. I understand that you're dealing with the unimaginable, and the last thing you want to do is add anything more to your plate. But if this is true, what's your favorite flavor of Kool-Aid? Like, honestly. I have sat on this and I haven't said anything, but I was also told that one of the victims there is not speaking out because they're afraid to upset the hospital. Now, I personally reached out to several of them or their families. No one's talking, aside from one or two random social media posts. Listen, again, I almost didn't say anything because I don't want to criticize anyone that is going through such a horrific event. But if this is not just a prime example indicative of the apathy of nurses, I don't know what is. You do realize that when you are having PTSD and you can't come to work for a week or whatever down the line, and you need those funds, you're not going to get it. Like, you get that, right? The hospital, allegedly, the hospital's going to claim that it's all for you. And then mysteriously there will be a new statue in the lobby or something. They're not going, they're going to create a work group to evaluate the needs to see if this one warrants some of the money, or if it, stall tactics, diversion, right? Deflection. They're monopolizing, or they're monetizing rather, your tragedy, your trauma. This would have been prevented if the hospital would have simply had metal detectors. And you all are letting the hospital financially benefit from your trauma, allegedly, if this is true. I hope that's not true, but we do know that this is true. I know that UPMC has a monopoly in Pennsylvania and that you have limited places available to work. I do get that, and that's a concern. But you all had guns held to your head and were zip tied. I cannot even imagine the last thing on earth that I would be doing is worrying about the hospital being upset, or doing anything to paint the hospital in a good light, or to financially benefit from it. Like, if that means that they fire me, then I'm going to fight that illegal retaliation. And what a case that would be. I mean, come on. Like, you would have such a case, right? But I give a damn. I will go do home health. I will go be a school nurse. I will do anything else if I can't work in a hospital there because of their monopoly. Before I ever worried about upsetting them after an incident like that. This is exactly the mindset that is so damaging to the nursing profession and why we don't move forward, because of the apathy of nurses, the living in fear, controlling your decisions of nurses. If ever there was going to be a wake-up call, this should be it.